Welcome to today's deep dive. Today, our mission is unpacking the life and legacy of Utagawa Hiroshige, the last great master of Japanese ukiyo-e woodblock prints. It really did. And his origin story is, well, surprisingly grounded. He was born in Edo in 1797 to a family of samurai fire wardens.
Right, which is quite the hereditary duty. But he was actually orphaned at just 12 years old.
Yeah, and that's when he defies expectations.
Yeah.
He basically chooses the precarious path of an artist over that secure family duty. But, I mean, it took decades for him to truly find his signature voice, didn't it?
It did, yeah. He spent years just producing standard commercial work. The major turning point didn't actually happen until 1832.
That was when he traveled the Tōkaidō road.
Exactly. This was a grueling 500-kilometer highway with 53 post stations connecting Edo to Kyoto.
And when you are walking that incredible distance, I mean, you are entirely at the mercy of the elements.
Oh, completely. And that specific journey sparked his famous Hoidu Commission, which is what essentially launched him to superstardom.
You can really see that exact vulnerability to the elements in the prints that followed. Because for Hiroshige, the weather wasn't just some nice background detail. Weather was the main character.
Yes, take Shōno, Driving Rain, for example.
I love that one. He uses these intense slashing diagonal lines to capture the sheer, sudden force of a downpour. It feels like you are literally running for cover right alongside the travelers.
You really feel the kinetic energy. But then, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, you have a piece like Night Snow at Kanbara.
Right. Going from pure chaos to pure silence.
That piece is just a masterclass in stillness. You can almost hear the crunch of the snow underfoot and feel that heavy, muffled silence of a winter night.
And he leaves vast areas of the paper completely unprinted, right? He uses the pure, empty white space to evoke that atmosphere.
He does. And his ability to capture those nocturnal moves, the moonlight, the thick mist, it relied heavily on a complex gradient shading technique called bokashi. It is a perfect reminder that ukiyo-e was a highly collaborative industry. We tend to imagine, a solitary genius at an easel, but a single print required a small army.
Right, you had the designer Hiroshige, a master carver, a printer, and a publisher backing it financially.
And sometimes they utilized up to 20 separate carved woodblocks for just one single image, just to build up those subtle, moody effects layer by layer.
Which naturally brings us to the ultimate comparison. We always hear Hiroshige and his older contemporary Hokusai mentioned in the same breath.
The classic rivalry.
For someone who knows the genre, how did their underlying approaches to these landscapes really differ?
It basically comes down to their relationship with nature. Hokusai gives you sharp geometry and raw, overwhelming power. Nature is an imposing, dramatic force.
Whereas Hiroshige gives you intimacy. He captured the quiet poetry of the landscape, the mood, and the fleeting moments of everyday people just moving through it.
Exactly. And that intimate, poetic view really culminates in his final masterwork, 100 Famous Views of Edo.
Which, despite the title, actually contains 118 prints spanning all 4 seasons.
Yes, and this is where he completely revolutionized composition. He introduced what we call the bold crop.
The near-far composition technique.
Right. By shoving a massive magnified object, like a highly detailed eagle wing or a blooming plum branch, into the immediate foreground, he uniquely frames the distant views.
It creates this stunning 3-dimensional illusion on a totally flat piece of paper.
Yeah.
You are suddenly placed right inside the scene, peering through the branches yourself.
And his influence certainly did not stop at the borders of Japan. Once those borders opened in 1853, these prints flooded into Europe and practically detonated the Western art world.
Sparking the movement we know as Japonism. The Impressionists and Post-Impressionists were obsessed.
Vincent van Gogh was utterly captivated. By 1887, Van Gogh was painting exact oil copies of Hiroshige's prints.
Like his copies of the Plum Orchard or the Bridge in the Rain.
Exactly. He is directly adopting Hiroshige's bold crops, those vibrant colors, and the atmospheric focus.
It is incredible to think that a scene from a rainy bridge in Edo completely reshaped European painting decades later.
That is a wonderful takeaway, especially knowing that his own journey was tragically cut short when he died in the devastating 1858 cholera epidemic.
A profound loss.
It was. But he left us with a beautiful death poem that serves as the ultimate emotional climax of his life's work. He wrote, "Leaving the brush aside on the road to the next world, I shall see the famous views of paradise."